Welcome, everyone, to the FAQ Shack, the show where we tackle the fascinating questions you send our way. And today, oh man, do we have a story that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a spy movie. We're diving deep into one of the most audacious covert operations of the entire Cold War, Project Azorian. And this whole deep dive comes to us courtesy of a listener. Alex from Ohio wrote in about a very mysterious ship that popped up back in the 1970s, a vessel so advanced it kind of blew everyone's minds.
So, Alex's question is on the screen. Hey FAQ Shack, I heard about this insane ship from the 70s, the Hughes Glomar Explorer. It was for deep-sea mining, but sounds like a spy movie. What's the real story? Well, Alex, you hit the nail on the head. The real story is exactly like a spy movie, so let's get into it.
Okay, so picture this. It's the early 1970s, and the world is introduced to this technological marvel. It's called the Hughes Glomar Explorer, and it's financed by the famously reclusive, super eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. And just get a load of the specs for this thing. We're talking over 600 feet long, weighing more than 50,000 tons. It had this giant, hidden bay right in the middle of its hull called a moon pool. And the public reason for all this? To pioneer the brand new industry of mining manganese nodules from the deep ocean floor. The cost was around $350 million back then, which is something like $2 billion today.
And here's the crazy part. The cover story was almost too convincing. It actually kicked off a real, genuine, global race. Other countries and companies started pouring money into deep-sea mining research because they thought Hughes was onto something huge.
Which, of course, raises the big question, right? Why would anyone build a vessel on this scale, at this incredible cost, for an industry that was totally unproven and might not even pay off? Well, that's because the Glomar Explorer's real target wasn't minerals at all. No, its true mission was to recover a sunken Soviet nuclear submarine. Back in 1968, the Soviet sub K-129 went down mysteriously in the middle of the Pacific. And this wasn't just any sub. It was carrying nuclear ballistic missiles. And, maybe even more importantly, top-secret cryptographic codebooks, the holy grail of intelligence.
And where was it? It was resting on the ocean floor at a mind-boggling depth of 16,500 feet. That is nearly 3 miles straight down.
The CIA, who ran this whole secret operation, came up with a pretty brilliant analogy to describe just how absurdly difficult this was going to be. They said, imagine standing on top of the Empire State Building, lowering a grappling hook all the way to the street, snagging a car full of gold, and then lifting it all the way back up to the top without anyone noticing. So, to pull off something that sounds completely impossible, the CIA basically had to invent technology that just didn't exist yet. This was sci-fi stuff, for real. The plan itself was, on paper, a three-step process. First, they'd lower this massive mechanical claw they nicknamed Clementine 3 miles down into the dark. Second, they'd use that claw to grab the 2,000-ton submarine. And third, they'd hoist the entire prize up into the ship's hidden moon pool, completely underwater and shielded from any prying Soviet spy satellites. Simple, right?
And this slide right here shows one of the most mind-blowing pieces of tech they came up with. See that solid, wavy line? That's the ocean waves, tossing this huge ship up and down. But that dash line, the one that's almost perfectly flat, that was their revolutionary heave compensation system. It acted like the world's most advanced shock absorber, meaning the 3-mile-long pipe they were using to lift the sub barely moved at all, keeping the whole operation incredibly stable. Just amazing engineering.
The actual operation went down in the summer of 1974. And let me tell you, it was a super tense, high-stakes drama that unfolded over several weeks. It was a real nail-biter.
And the mission's outcome? Well, it was this incredible mix of breathtaking success and absolutely heartbreaking failure.
They had it. They had the submarine in their grasp. But as they were lifting it, several of the claw's prongs failed. It was a catastrophic mechanical failure. So, as you can see here, they did manage to recover a 38-foot forward section, which had 2 nuclear torpedoes and the bodies of 6 sailors. But the main prize, the missile compartment, the control room, and those priceless code books, it broke off and plunged right back down to the ocean floor. Gone forever.
You know, in a quiet moment of respect, right in the middle of the Cold War, the CIA recovered the bodies of those 6 Soviet sailors, and they gave them a formal, full military burial at sea. A really incredible detail in this whole story.
But this whole thing, of course, raises a huge question about what happened next. And that brings us to another listener question.
This one is from Maria in Toronto, and she asks a really crucial question. So if this was all top secret, and the Soviets were watching, how did the story ever get out? With so much on the line, how did one of the biggest secrets of the Cold War become public knowledge?
The answer is, you just can't make this stuff up. It wasn't Soviet espionage, it wasn't a double agent, it was a completely unrelated, bizarre Hollywood burglary. Some thieves broke into an office owned by Howard Hughes' company, and they just accidentally stole a secret memo that laid out the connection between Hughes, the CIA, and Project Azorian. They tried to blackmail the government. That failed, so the story got leaked to the press. Unbelievable.
So the secret's out. But it's how the CIA reacted to the leak that created a legal and political legacy that actually impacts government transparency to this very day.
Facing a hurricane of media questions and Freedom of Information Act requests, the CIA issued this really novel statement. It's now famously known as the Glomar response. It's when the government, in response to a request, says they can neither confirm nor deny that the information even exists. It's the ultimate official Stonewall tactic, and it's still used all the time.
And this really shows you the cultural impact. The phrase has become so famous that the CIA itself even joked about it. When they finally joined Twitter in 2014, their very first tweet, which you can see on the screen, was, "We can neither confirm nor deny that this is our first tweet." Pretty clever.
You know, this whole incredible story just makes you wonder, right? If they could pull something this audacious off 50 years ago, what other secrets are still hidden down there in the deep? What else is still waiting at the bottom of the sea? Let us know what you think, and if you have a question you want us to explain next, drop it in the comments below.